What's up? It's me, ADRI.V, the go-getter, and I want to welcome you to the G Code podcast. You see, this is a place you go to get the pretty, the ugly, and the grind to success. There's always a story to be told, and everything that glitter ain't gold. So understand this. There is no need for the cheat code when you got the G Code. So get your notebooks and pens ready. It's time for us to get into it. Welcome to the G Code.
You are now listening to the G Code with ADRI.V.
Oh my goodness. Hello, my go-getters. First, let me just say, I'm sorry. I've been gone so long. Honestly, I felt like an ostrich and I kind of just stuck my head into the sand just a little bit, and really just been coasting on doing the bare minimum or the things I had to show up for and do. And when it came to this podcast, because it's my podcast, I just was like, you know what? I don't gotta do it. And if it's one less thing I didn't have to do, I didn't do. And that was me having mental health in that moment. Okay. So, but nonetheless, I told myself, like, I'm going back to school. You know, September brings about this newness where you feel like you need some new clothes. You got to get new underwear, new socks. Like, I just mentally prepare myself for school every time. And so I said, you know what? As we are going into the new of the year, which I like to consider September most of the time the new year, especially when you're going into the new school year, it's a new season to be refreshed and to birth, right? And so here I am back at it again, determined to keep going and showing up for you at least once a week, to be a relief, to be some motivation, to be an antidote, and to allow myself and my fellow go-getters to bring about motivation and education for your everyday life in the best go-getter way possible. I don't know about you, but since everything has been going on since the pandemic kicked in, the COVID-19 back in March, it's been really, really hard. In essence of really trying to just mentally stay stable in the midst of racial uproar, so many things happening locally, nationally, having to deal with what we call this election and having a president who seems to be more of a dictator. You know, it's a lot going on. And here I am trying to find my voice and to identify the particular platforms and the things I want to speak on in the most eloquent way possible. You know, as we can see with the breakdown and the punishment and the removal of Nick Cannon from the things he has done in his podcast, it really made me look at what is it I present better, right? Because we have the freedom of speech, but there are people who also have the freedom to do what they want with the speech you provide. So I'm very conscious of that. I want to make sure that I'm able to deliver what it is I want to say and say it in the rawest way possible. But I also want to make sure I'm conscious of others and how they feel, and that I am educated well and versed in the particular subject matter that I choose to speak on. So I'm really looking forward for this season of the podcast to kick off, as we embark in dabbling in different things when it comes to the G Code. You know, the college scene, really speaking to my college students, because this is a really hard time for them. The high school students, because this is a hard time. Everyone is doing something that really has not been done before at this caliber, and that is having to educate yourself solely from a computer and not being in a classroom, where before that was just something that's optional to do if you wanted to be a commuter. But now we really have to figure out how to function in a digital virtual world to the best of our abilities and to social distance properly. So I just really wanted to get on here to say, hey, I'm alive, and hey, I'm excited because of the great work we're going to get to do and begin to do back at it again, and really build back my podcast to be the thing that you would have listened to, honey, and giving some new direction and redirection. So I'm really excited about that. But in the meantime, I want you to play catch up, and there are going to be some episodes I will be dropping believing that I was supposed to been drop, there were some conversations that I had on IG Live with some very dope artists that I feel is necessary to put on the audio form for you can have an eargasm and to be educated, entertained, and motivated all at the same time. All right. So listen, I appreciate you for always subscribing, locking in with me. And what I want to leave you with before I go, and I've said it so many times in this podcast, the difference between a man who says he can and the difference between a man who says he can't. Honestly, there is no difference. Because if you choose to say you can, you can. And if you choose to say you can't, you can't. The moment you begin to utter and speak those things out of your mouth is the moment your mind says, I agree. Let's do that. So going into this new year, as we talk about September being a new school year, a new time to get a new planner and to refresh and to prepare and to give birth in the 9th month, I want to encourage you to be wise with your words, to allow the remaining of what 2020 is to be transforming for your life in the most amazing and positive way. And that right there is your quick G code of the day. Now, remember I said to play catch up, and coming up, I got some new episodes for you of the G code. Get ready for it. It's me, ADRI.V, the creator of the G code, the host of the G code, producer of the G code, the one-man band of the G code. Here I am. Here I stand. And guess what? Welcome to the G code. Be sure to subscribe to the G Code podcast. Find it on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and all places a podcast lives. Also, download ADRI.V, the Go-Getter app on your Google Play and or your iTunes App Store for free. And always get the G Code podcast at your fingertips. Want to catch up on the G Code podcast? Well, go to www.ADRIVthegogetter.com and also subscribe on Soundcloud and YouTube. Remember, you can check a new episode out each and every Wednesday as we get you over the hump with the G Code.
I was born in the G Code, embedded in my blood. Matter of fact, you just triggered a level orange G Code security threat.
And that's the G Code.